Let's go.
Welcome to the Integrative Edge, your go-to podcast for fresh perspectives on holistic health and functional movement. Join us as we explore innovative ways to optimize your health naturally and sustainably.
I'm Kelly Demers, founder of the Integrative Wellness Coalition and the owner of True North Performance.
I'm Lindsay Seefeld, doctor of physical therapy and owner and operator of Uplifted Oncology Rehab.
I'm Dr. Kimberly Klimek, licensed pharmacist and owner of Innate Healing and Performance.
You can find the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe so you never miss an episode.
Welcome to the Integrative Edge, where we explore innovative ways to optimize your health naturally and sustainably. I'm Kelly Demers, and as always, I'm here with my amazing co-hosts, Dr. Lindsay Seefeld and Dr. Kim Klimek. Have you ever felt sluggish, foggy, or just downright cranky and not known why? Sometimes the simplest solution is the one we overlook: water. So grab your water bottle, let's get started. Ladies, we all share the benefits of hydration with our clients. What are the top benefits you share with your clients? I'll let Dr. Kim, do you want to go first?
Oh, yeah. I mean, number one, better energy levels throughout the day. Literally just people are probably one of the number one things like they come to me saying as part of their goals is, oh, I just want to have better energy, more sustained energy throughout the day. And in my mind, like the very first thing, because it really is, it's part of the foundations, one of the very first things I talk to them about, sometimes I feel like I spend 10 to 15 minutes on an initial consult just asking them if they are getting the proper hydration. And I'll kind of dive into not only just drinking water, but I like to tell them it's drinking water smarter, and I'll kind of talk about how you could do that. But better energy levels, less cramping in your muscles throughout the day, just feeling more hydrated, like not excessively thirsty, and balancing that fluid throughout the body, and just overall wellness, skin vitality. Those are some of the things.
For sure.
Yeah, for me, it's just, being lymphatic queen that I am, it's like our lymphatic system is water. Like we have to hydrate our body so that our body can naturally get rid of the toxins and all the garbage that we are putting in it and our body is breaking down. So you have to have that proper hydration to help our body naturally flush out the toxicity. So you have to drink.
For sure. In here, we talk about, obviously, sports performance. Even a 2% drop in hydration levels can impact your performance. And I mean any performance. So whether you're lifting weights or you're just walking to the mailbox, you will feel, to Kim's point earlier, that drop. Muscles are made up of about 75% water. So staying hydrated is essential for muscle contraction, flexibility, endurance. If you think about water as the oil that keeps the engine of your muscles running smoothly. Without enough of it, things will seize up. And Kim talked about that as well, just muscle cramping and soreness.
Yeah, and when you think about it, I always tell people, because I think of things on like the cellular level, everything is kind of just about the cell and optimizing the cell for like longevity and energy and things like that. But I try to explain it to people. And I'm like, if you just drink plain water throughout the day, it actually can kind of, only plain water throughout the day can actually just dilute your cell, and it kind of makes it swollen. And so you want this like active and passive transport of these electrolytes, like the sodium, potassium, magnesium, in and out of the cell. That contributes and supports to like electrical conduction, and basically your cells being able to carry out their function and their jobs. We talked about fluid balance, nerve function, and then, yes, the muscle contractions in general. So that requires electrolytes. And so I always ask clients, I'm like, okay, so, and then they always tell me, they're like, well, I know I'm drinking half my fluid ounces and body weight of water per day, but I just always kind of feel tired. And then I'm like, well, you're kind of missing this extra component and this extra layer to it. So now we bring in electrolytes, and they're all over the scene right now. You know, we got these companies like LMNT, there's like Redmond's Relight, all different kinds of companies now who actually are talking about electrolytes. And it is a simple thing to just start adding those electrolytes in your day, and how drastically that can improve your energy levels, your thirst, hydration in general. So that's kind of where I start with them first.
It's nice to have a break from plain water as well.
Yeah.
Flavor in there.
Yeah, yes, and that's kind of why and I talk about, and I explain that to them on the cellular level, just diluting the cell, and that's why you may feel kind of sluggish or drowsy throughout the day. So you really need those electrolytes. And the other component I always talk to people too is about like trace minerals, and magnesium is kind of a really important topic because those minerals contribute to so it's kind of like boron, and I talked about the magnesium and lithium. These are actually small trace minerals that the body needs daily. Those help with not only cellular hydration, enzymatic function in the body, but also, again, neurological health. So if you're kind of start there with those foundations. If you're just like, oh, I've never added electrolytes or minerals in my day, you're going to probably notice a drastic difference right away.
So we get electrolytes. We have Element here, but how are you introducing trace minerals?
Yeah, good question. I provide a lot of different options for clients in terms of like the electrolytes or minerals, because again, everything is about consistency and what is going to fit into your routine. So I've used LMNT packets, and I kind of dose those per se, my medical jargon here, dose those with about like half a packet a day, or if I'm actually doing a really intense workout where I'm sweating more sodium loss, I'll do like a full packet. And I always tell people, let your taste buds tell you, let your body tell you like how much salt, because one of the main ingredients in the LMNT is the salt. So people might complain it's a little bit salty. And each of these products, they actually do have a different sodium content in them. If you read the labels carefully, you might notice one product has about 400 milligrams of salt, whereas like an LMNT packet has about 1,000 milligrams or 1 gram of salt. So the products, they may not be a preference for every single person, but your body will kind of let you know where you need to be with that, because it should taste good and hydrating for you. But the trace minerals, a couple different ways you can get them in. My biggest, I'll be a proponent definitely for like just mineral drops you can put in your water, because it's just so simple. So, I got my Stanley mug, and I fill that up, and it's probably about 45, 50 ounces of water. And then I'll put in a packet of LMNT, and then I will put in about 30 drops of these. They're called concentrate trace mineral drops. I'm a fan of that product particularly because it also does have magnesium in it. And I was just telling Baxter walking in here that I totally feel out of my element, no pun there, but because I just got back from my vacation and I realized I was out of my trace mineral drops, and so I reordered some on Amazon, and then they're back ordered till like mid-January. I'm like, I've been feeling really weird because I haven't had my trace minerals. So I got another thing which I'll kind of hit on a little bit later too, but I'm putting that in the water, but making sure I get some magnesium. But there's just little companies that carry drops that you can put in the water. Otherwise, there's oral capsule supplements for that, depending on like how well you're absorbing things with gut health and stuff like that.
So we talk about what we're putting into our body, whether it's electrolytes, trace minerals, we're adding that to water, we're drinking just plain water. Dr. Lindsay, do you want to talk about how much water actually leaves our body on a daily basis?
Yeah. Well, first off, like our bodies, we're mostly water. 60% of our body is water. And there's 3 different compartments in our body. So we have that house the water. So we have water that's actually inside of our cells, water that's outside of our cells, and then we have water that's, in our capillaries and veins. And so we have a lot of water in our body. And so we, on average, lose 8 to 12 cups per day of water. And that's with, urination, it's with breathing, it's with bowel movements, and just basic sweating. So we have to replace, like Kim was talking about, we have to replace that back into our system.
And that's on an average day, right?
That's on an average day.
A Wisconsin January day we're losing versus an August day we might be losing much more.
Yeah, and it depends.
Plus from all the coffee drinkers.
And all the coffee drinkers. And I think like with my clients and stuff, I talk about, like a good way to trace if you're doing well is, looking at your urine, right? When you pee, what color is your urine? It should not be really yellow. It should be very light. And that's indication that you are staying hydrated. So that's
a great.
Yep. Look at your pee when you go to the bathroom.
Yeah, for sure.
We talk about the body being predominantly water. I talked about muscles being 75% water. One of the benefits of hydration, and I think both of you have hit on that, is just the thought process. The brain is highly water dependent. The brain is about 73% water, and even the slightest amount of dehydration can impact its performance. So if you imagine we're running our bodies and our brains are controlling our bodies, right? And we're running this complex piece of software on a battery that's low. Mm-hmm. That's what dehydration is doing. There is something that I read that if your brain is dehydrated, those headaches that sometimes people will feel, mm-hmm. the brain actually will pull away from the skull slightly, which is what's leading to those dehydration headaches. So really making sure that you are properly hydrated not only serves you from a drainage perspective and getting things moving and a performance perspective, but it will also help you think. It'll lift that brain fog a little bit as well.
Well, and that's exactly where, we touched upon that already. The water is how all of our nutrients exchange, between each other. So all the different hormones, the different supplements that you put in your body, like the exchange of toxicity gets pulled out. So that water is the foundation of our system of how we create that exchange between everything.
Yeah. What are your guys' biggest tips and strategies for staying hydrated? I talked to you guys about how I got my big container thing over here.
Sure.
I've seen much bigger ones for sure, and I think this one's kind of bulky to carry around, but I like it because me and Kelly were chatting because I just kind of fill that one up once a day, and then I do have, if I'm at home, I can have cups of water or whatever from my Berkey filter that I got, but this one I can carry with me throughout the day, and I just kind of sip on it throughout the day, because that's another thing too, is you don't gotta chug all your electrolytes and everything in one sitting. You can kind of sip it throughout the day, and it helps you stay hydrated.
Yeah, I think that's what I do. I fill it up just like you. I've got, my bigger mug there that I have of water. I think if it's in your visual field, you'll drink it. I think, I've been guilty of, I love my coffee in the morning, so I have my coffee, and then it's lunchtime. I'm like, oh my goodness, I have not had an ounce of water yet other than my coffee.
The week between Christmas and New Year's, I didn't drink a glass of water for 4 days.
Yeah. So
I'm just kidding, by the way.
But I think if you visually have that in your field,
many though. I'm not going to deny that.
I don't think I'm alone there.
But I think if you visually have that filled up, I think you're just more apt to, grabbing it and drinking it throughout the day.
For sure. I think starting your day with water, starting your day with water is a good habit to have. It's a great way to kickstart the system right away in the morning.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm definitely a proponent, and I do it. I'll get that one glass of water with a fresh squeezed lemon and a little pinch of mineral salt, and I'm like, ooh, I'm getting first thing in the morning that you should be replenishing is kind of your electrolytes and water, because you do get dehydrated just from simply sleeping. So it's kind of the first thing to hit in the morning. And of course, there's the added benefits of kind of waking up the liver a little bit when you get some of the citrus in there.
Carrying a reusable water bottle wherever you go, and I know we had talked about this, just filling it up once, but find a water bottle that you love. Find a water bottle that fits in the cup holder of your car. These people with these big mugs or these big gigantic things that you're not driving around with a gallon of water on your front seat and going to take a drink while you're driving down the highway. It's ridiculous.
So true.
So find something that is not completely obnoxious that you can put in your water bottle, drive around. When you leave, make it a goal that you have a water bottle in your holder when you leave, so that you can drink it throughout the day. Adding flavor, Kim touched on it, throwing a cucumber, a lemon, mint, berries, electrolytes, mineral. You can do a number of different things to kind of spice up that water, so you're not feeling like you just have to drink water all of the time. There are apps out there. There's one. Yeah. I didn't try the app, but there is an app out there that's it starts out at a little plant in the morning, and then you hit a plus sign. You hit a plus sign every time you drink a water, and then your plant by the end of the day is supposed to be this lush, beautiful plant. And if it's not, you know that you didn't drink enough water.
Beautiful visual perspective.
Right. So that would be something else to kind of gamify if you struggle with drinking enough water, to try to gamify that process a little bit was a good idea. But going back to what Lindsay said as well, just really listening to your body. If all of a sudden you notice your skin is really dry, you walk into a room and you forgot why. Sometimes it's just, maybe you're a little foggy because you're underhydrated. So go back and
dry mouth, that's another kind of sign where you're probably dehydrated.
Your body is so great at sending signals. We are just really poor at listening to them. So when your body sends a signal, pay attention, listen, drink the water. I know the answer to this, but I'm gonna ask in just a desperation, because maybe there's something I'm not seeing. People ask all the time, does coffee count towards your hydration goals? And you have to know, I am an emotional coffee drinker. If I'm happy, I drink coffee. If I'm sad, you know what would make this better? Coffee. So I'm waiting for someone to tell me that, yes, Kelly, hydration, your coffee counts towards your hydration goals. So if you want, you can shoot me down if you want.
It's do you want the doctor response?
Right? Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, I'm going to say no, but
gotta go.
Yeah, coffee. Well, yeah, clients are always like, well, do I have to give up my coffee? No. We need to keep the joys in our life. But yeah, generally coffee, it's going to deplete magnesium in your electrolytes and minerals and further kind of dehydrate the cell. So we must replenish. We can have our coffee, but let's replenish.
Yep, completely agree. I wasn't going to just. I'm the same way as you. I have to have my coffee in the morning. It's my love. But I know, like I said, sometimes you're busy in the morning and oh my gosh, all I had was my coffee this morning. Very bad. So yeah, you can balance it out. Don't give up.
We're not perfect every day.
Yep, we're not perfect every day, but definitely have that water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just thinking too, when I'm out and about, I keep electrolyte packets in my purse. I will literally keep them in there, because if I was I forgot to put it in there for the morning, I feel like my whole day is off if I don't have those electrolytes, at least as a bare minimum. So I will keep packets in my purse now because of the convenience. And there's companies that will make those that you can just put them in you can keep one of those little packets. And I use those all. That was one thing when I traveled to New Zealand for 2 weeks this past year. The foundations is I made sure I had electrolyte packets with me for every day. I had a little AG1s thing, and I had a couple immune support supplements that I took, because I was these are the absolute things I need. But the electrolytes was every day I needed those. Otherwise it wasn't going to be a good day.
For sure. I can tell right away if I am not hydrated enough, because it shows in my skin immediately. Mm-hmm. You can see.
Yeah. And I think, just some other points that I wanted to point out, there's so many different components too that helps your body too, your joints, that's our lubrication in our joints. This is how, we regulate our body temperatures is with the water. So, sweating is natural. So we have to naturally have a way to cool down our bodies. So we have to have that. We already talked about, the nutrients, how that water helps delivers and flushes out the waste. And then, this carries oxygen, when we're working out and exercising, this is how, oxygen can get, right to your muscles, to help you excel.
One of the things that I read was that a 1 to 2% drop in hydration levels can make you feel tired and foggy. If you flip that, if you are properly hydrated, you can actually increase your productivity by up to 14%. So that it's like giving your brain a little turbo boost just by drinking water, which is such a small thing. And so it's not like porpoises in the water where a 1 to 2% decrease is going to make you foggy, and by staying hydrated, it's a 1 to 2%. There's quite a big span there. So where just a small decrease in hydration will hurt, staying hydrated will give you a sizable boost.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm thinking in my mind, when you get in that little afternoon slump too, sometimes between 1 and 3, I always I do kind of correlate that with a little bit more of adrenal fatigue. But one of the number one things that they will encourage you to help support your adrenals, getting some salt, potassium, and vitamin C for the adrenal specifically, but literally just getting a little bit of that mineral salt, which is in a lot of these electrolyte sources too. thinking a little bit more like the future. They're developing these things called molecular hydrogen water bottles, which are, I would say, kind of like the next level. I haven't quite purchased one myself or anything. I do have some like molecular hydrogen tablets that I put in water. And I did kind of read the back of the ingredient. One of the main ingredients is still magnesium. So we should probably have a whole episode on magnesium one day. But it's a really powerful antioxidant. It helps with reducing oxidative stress and inflammation in the cells, which will then improve your cellular function. And then along that line, it's going to help improve water absorption into the cell specifically. And then kind of taking it a next step, it helps improve the mitochondria, which are basically the powerhouses of our cells that produce energy. So all in all, still, it's just kind of like there's new ways that they're trying to come out with to improve hydration and just like the efficiency of water in general. But that's sort of like the next level thing is this molecular hydrogen. And I'd be curious to hear if any of our listeners, have used any of those products or anything like that. But I know they're on the market now. That'll probably be another big thing you're starting to see on the social medias is these molecular hydrogen water bottles. But I do know that I feel better using the tablet sometimes. And it's like, those are one of the things, like I'll just keep it in my purse and I'll put a tablet in when I'm at the restaurant or something where I don't normally, it's like, okay, I have some water here and let me just throw this in.
Are the tablets easy to carry around? I mean,
Yeah.
Are they individually wrapped?
Yep, individual. So I mean, like no, they're not individually wrapped. So I have a little bottle of them.
Okay.
But the tablet is just, a normal sized tablet. And you just drop it in the water and it dissolves within like a minute or something.
So you're carrying the little bottle around.
Girl,
You're
I
not
got
just
all these things in my purse, yeah.
Well, I just was thinking that you were going to throw the tablet in the purse, and you pull out the tablet, it's got a little purse dirt on there. You're going to chuck it into your water, and yeesh.
Yeah.
I have the most interesting purse stash.
There'll be an episode on that. What's in her bag?
Wellness products in the purse.
All right. So if I were to look at key takeaways from my perspective, making sure that people understand that muscles are made up, again, of 75% water. So staying hydrated is essential. Water in the thought process. Again, the brain is very highly water dependent. The brain is 73% water. So making sure that you are drinking enough water to move things through. Lindsay shared with us that the body is 60% water and needed for detoxification. Any other key takeaways?
I mean, we hit on so many good points right now about hydration and just definitely some of the foundations, but for sure just starting with making sure you kind of get that amount in daily that you need and figure out how you're going to do that with some of these strategies.
For sure. Keep a water bottle at your desk or your workspace throughout the day. If you get stuck on a problem, you're getting a little foggy, it could just be you need a water break. So. All right, if you are listening and we're looking for a challenge for the week, track how much water you're drinking and notice how you feel. Tag us in your hydration selfies if you want. You can share your favorite hydration hacks. We would love to hear them. Thank you so much for joining us this week. Thank you to Dr. Kim, Dr. Lindsay. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts, and we will see you next week.